Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're gonna be going over the recap for today. I made $0 today. I didn't take any trades. Now, price action today was really good. I faded setups, which I shouldn't have today, so I actually did make a mistake today. It's the first time in a while where I faded setups. I'll admit today, low key, I actually didn't end up taking a singular trade today, so I didn't let my emotions affect me today, but I did get a little bit emotional today because I did try to size a little bit heavier today because I decided that I was going to try sizing heavier because I've noticed that every time I do go to size slightly heavier, like my psych and like get like super uncomfortable when I go to take trades, which is like kind of a bad habit. Like it sort of shows like I don't want to like I'm admitting it, openly that it sort of does show that I do have a bit of an emotional connection to money in a way, or not even an emotional connection to money in a way. It's like fear in the market. So I want to get rid of that because that's a habit that you can't have in the market, especially since I trust my system and my model. And my model has a win rate of X%, like 70% plus most months. 80 90% of the months it's 70% plus, sometimes 65, but like it's in my favor. Like my model is profitable and I know my system and I know it's risk reward and I know how it works. um so for me to be fearful in a sense when it comes to trading, it's just not a good thing. Like being fearful in the markets is bad, you know. So I decided that I'm going to try risk a little bit more. And when I did do that, I like kind of hesitated on my entries because I'm like trying to find like the perfect A plus setup, and it just led me to get a little bit emotional today and to fade like really good setups. So and like sort of throw logic kind of out the window a small bit. So we're gonna get into today. I'm gonna give you my analysis. My analysis was definitely correct today. Like it was good. Like everything was good except for my entry. The way I was entering the market, I didn't enter the market at all today, which was the bad thing. So I hesitated on my setups today out of emotion, so emotional reasons and not logical reasons, which is like kind of the bad thing. And that's why I'm going to go over. Again, come on, I'm going to be openly honest with you guys when I'm doing this. I'm not going to no bullshit. No, oh, I didn't take this because this blah blah blah. I'm just going to be 100% honest because have to take accountability and journal this stuff and write it down and learn and move forward. Which is the only way you're really going to grow in this thing. You can't sit there and say that the mistake you made or whatever is just like you can't make an excuse for it. There's no excuse. There has to be accountability, has to be taken, and you have to understand that it's nobody's fault but yours. The decisions that you make in the moment are the decisions that you make, and not the market or whatever it may be. It's your decisions. Cool. So we got that little psychology part out the way. Let's get into today. So coming into today, extremely bullish, like very bullish buys for today. Reason being, if we look at the 4 hour, we want to look at the higher time frame. Like we are delivering from sell side, we are inversing every single gap to the left of us. 4 hour gaps have been inverse. Like the only draw on liquidity higher are these 4 hour highs up here. And we generated some nice liquidity as well up here. Where else was it? Like I was just super bullish. Honestly, we had a CVD divergence at the lows as well. So London session came in. I'm sorry, let me scroll down here. So London session came in. We had a CVD divergence with London session, as you can see, I have it marked out here on the bottom of my screen. I want to pull this up. There's CVD divergence with London session. So there's actually a beautiful trade during London session, to the upside as well within here. But CVD divergence with London session, we tapped a 4 hour gap, I think it was. Yeah, fully filled a 4 hour gap, rejected away from this 4 hour gap. We disrespected the 4 hour gap to the left of us, disrespecting all these PD rates to the left of us. And we had clear draws higher. We had this 1 hour unfilled up here. We had these clear 4 hour equal highs up here inside this gap. Like this was pretty obvious bullish bias for me. Really obvious. Like probably one of the most obvious biases of the week. They're in the past, like past while, this has been like the most obvious bias for me today. I said I think I said it in the Discord that I was in as well, that I think London London session is going to be low of the day, and London session was indeed low of the day, just because of that CBD divergence and that fully filled 4 hour gap. If we are going to be bullish and continue to be bullish all the way up to these draws on liquidity, there is absolutely no reason for us to come back down here, like none at all. Like it's a rebalanced range at EQ as well in the 4 hour time frame. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was actually OTE. Like hit OTE this range, fully rejected out of it, fully rejected off the 4 hour CBD divergence, the whole shebang. Like we were super bullish coming into today. So honestly, for me coming into today, what I was looking for was pretty simple. To be honest, I just wanted like a pullback. So I wanted to price was like right here at 9 a.m. I wanted to see price manipulate lower on open and tap into this 1 hour and sweep out this internal liquidity and then start to make its move higher from there up to the draws higher. So yeah, that's pretty it's pretty simple, not complicated, just simple stuff. We had these 5 minute fair value gaps as well down here with this internal structure. So if we did reject off of this within here, could have been an opportunity to take to the upside there as well. So I also had that in mind too. So let's get into it. Market open is in here. Perfect. There you go. There's New York open. So we actually come down on New York open and we reject into this. So we come into this 5 minute PD array and we sweep out this internal structure and we end up making a move higher off of this. Now at this point, low key, there was a CVD divergence with the bottom of this structure. We had a CVD divergence with these lows. We had rejection off of the 5 minute PD array, a clear bullish bias. If there was a 1 minute fair value gap inversion that I like seen within here, I would have been 100% willing to take a fair value gap inversion within this leg of price right here. Like anywhere within here, I would have loved to take a fair value gap inversion within here. Simply just like targeting this would have been perfect. Like it's only like what 30 points, nothing crazy, but like it's it's more than enough. Like it's fine. This is like really obvious to me, but we ended up blitzing through all of that like in seconds, and there was no fair value gap inversion here that was valid to take. There was no 2 minute, 3 minute, 1 minute. There was nothing within here, that was valid. There was just no inversion. Right, of course, there's a CISD that you could have taken off these candles, but that's a pretty steep CISD, especially when your final TP would sort of have to be there. Of course, you could have targeted higher, if you chose to do so. I think was this. This has already been taken at the time, right? Yeah. Okay, well, I guess yeah, you could have targeted that. That was definitely a good target for the straight. So if I got like an inversion within here, like this would have been a healthy target to go for. Something like this would have been nice, but we didn't get any inversion in here, so it's whatever. So at this point, I was just looking for continuation models. Now this high on the 4 hour was definitely not my final draw on liquidity for the day. My draw on liquidity was much higher. It was 4 hour equal highs, which I talked about on open. We actually didn't come up and hit those today, but I'm sure we're going to come up to those tomorrow. So I'm probably still going to be bullish again going into tomorrow. So yeah, so we just did that, and then NQ made a really big move higher. A really big move higher. ES was lagging. So ES was a lagging index, and today it was lagging behind everything. Where is this actually? If I can find it. Right here, cool. So ES was like lagging around here. We also did have an SMT with that 4 hour high. Yeah, so we had an SMT with that 4 hour high. ES was lagging. So at this point, it was like setting up for a really nice continuation model. Because when ES is lagging like this, we had. See, this is the thing I also didn't take into account at the time, which I need to get used to, is these 930 lows. Super strong draws on liquidity and super important, and super good rejection points as well if we sweep them and then make a move higher. So at this point, this was like 20 minutes to 10 a.m. We opened up a 5 minute down here. We opened up another 5 minute as well. Skip ahead. Cool. We opened up another 5 minute here as well. And then we started to just kind of consolidate within this 5 minute. And at this point, I was willing to take a long, but this was what? This was 950. So this was like here. ES still didn't take these lows yet, and I did have Trade of 8 open at this point. And we had I think it was right here. Yeah, we had a 30-second inversion right here. But again, this wasn't valid for me because ES didn't take these lows yet, and it was so close to 10 a.m. and we were just kind of consolidating here. I would have liked to see like a steeper manipulation move, and we were also super close to opening up a 15-minute fair value gap as well, which I would have liked to see price trade into, right? So then we mess around here, and this is 952. So 953, boom. So at 953, ES then sweeps out these lows, these 9 a.m. lows, or 9:30, sorry. So market open lows. Okay, and then we come lower and we open up this 1 minute fair value gap, and then at this point it was 50. So it's 5 minutes to 10 a.m. And this is where I sort of made the mistake on the first trade. So I always sort of have like I kind of have it drilled into my mind that 10 a.m. will like do the manipulation, and so it'll be like 10 a.m. open low high close, 10 a.m. open high low close, blah blah blah, whatever, right? So in this case, obviously, the manipulation move happened before 10 a.m., which is completely like logical to think about it. See, I wasn't, because like this is something that I would have probably taken into account. Maybe, I don't know. Well, it's a learning experience today. Like I did learn today, so I cannot complain at all. This price action was great as well. It was genuinely really, really good. So yeah, this was the first trade that presented itself that was super clean. So we had a retrace into a 5 minute. We had an SMT at these 9 a.m. lows. So we had an SMT divergence at these lows right here, where ES swept out 9:30 lows. We opened up a 1 minute for value gap, a bearish one, and we tapped into this 5 minute and manipulated. This was all before 10 a.m., which is the only reason why I didn't take it. It was before 10 a.m. because I'm so like I always see 10 a.m. open, low, high, close. But the thing is, with 10 a.m., it's similar to like a market open in a sense, right? Because if you think about it, market open doesn't always manipulate, right? Everybody's like, oh, market open will manipulate lower, and then it will go in the opposite direction, or blah blah blah. But there's a lot of times now, more times than not, it usually is the opening of the hourly candle which does do the manipulation. But in this case, the manipulation has already happened. Okay, so when the manipulation has already happened, like there's been loads of times before where we've seen London session manipulate lows, and then New York just starts to pump on open. It doesn't manipulate at all. It just shoots straight higher to the draws on liquidity on open. Maybe opens up a 5 minute, retraces, and then moves higher. But it doesn't manipulate any significant draw, or it doesn't manipulate any like liquidity. It just moves higher, and that is also this is what I learned today, is that I have to take that into account as well when it comes to 10 a.m. opening, right? Because if we manipulate before 10 a.m. and we show like an actual manipulation move before 10 a.m., which was, this is perfect, like literally ES swept out 9:30 lows, so that's the manipulation move done on ES. And Q comes down, sweeps out this internal structure, and taps into a 5 minute. That's the manipulation, right? And then right after that, we get an inversion on that 1 minute for value gap right here. And this is where you could have entered long, targeting the 1 hour unfilled above, break even at this internal structure. Or like whatever, you could have even targeted like 50 points, because this was like a really obvious move. But again, the safe bet is targeting that unfilled 1 hour above, because that is the next draw on liquidity. Stops at the low, simple. It's like a bit above a 1-to-1. And I decided to fade this because turn it open up. But like in the end, like there was no need, because again, the 15-minute candle, the 15 minute for value gap did open, but that's just a breakaway gap in this case. Like it's just a breakaway gap because the manipulation move already happened before 10 a.m. So in this case, 10 a.m. if anything will just deliver to your draw if you're correct, instead of manipulating. It's gonna be the delivery. All right, just like market open can be sometimes. It's just what I just explained. So it would be at this internal high, come up, instantly break even, and then instantly take profit in a matter of minutes, like 4 minutes. This would have been a perfect trade to take, and it was an A plus setup mechanically, and it was really good. And now that I look back on it, it also made perfect logical sense and had high conviction on it, because there was no reason for 10 a.m. to manipulate lower when the manipulation move already happened. So at this point, I was like, okay, that's whatever. I should have taken that, but I didn't. Let's see if we want to retrace into this 15 minute, maybe like move higher and then have another pullback and then maybe another move higher. All right. So at this point, we were just kind of consolidating, and then this was again another manipulation move to the downside. Now, at this point, I was like super ready to take some longs. This was a 15-minute rejection. And we had, I don't know what time, where was this on ES? What did ES do? ES actually manipulated lower after this again and swept out these hourly lows. So this was like what I wanted to see happen. This was like a perfect setup, right? We had ES manipulating hourly lows. So it took out the hourly lows, the liquidity, the 15-minute internal structure, tapped the hourly for a value gap, rejected off of it, and then NQ rejected off of a 15-minute for value gap. So at this point, I was like, this is where my mistake happened today again. And this is when I started, this is when I was getting a bit emotional, right? This is where I kind of made mistakes, because I was focused. I was looking at the 1 minute chart at this point, and I was like, bruh, there's no 1 minute inversion here. It was almost like I was trying to force a setup today, which I never usually do, but I did today. Like I tried to force a setup, and I was like focusing on the 1 minute, like hoping there'd be a fair value gap there that I could take. So like I'm just being honest with you guys. Everybody makes mistakes, and I 100% made a mistake today, and it is what it is. We move on, we move forward, we journal it, and we take accountability, and we don't let it happen again. Okay. So there was no 1 minute for value gap here, and I was like glued to the 1 minute for value gap screen because I was like, okay, if there's no 1 minute, like usually how I just unconsciously do it is like, oh, if there's no 1 minute, there's definitely no 2 minute or 3 minute. I was like 1 minute, oh, there's no 2 minute, but there was a 3 minute, and this 3 minute was really really clean. We had a really nice 3 minute inversion. I think it was right here, was it? Yeah, right here. Oh, well, there's a spoiler anyway. So we had a 3 minute inversion right here, and I didn't even notice it because I was glued to the fucking 1 minute. I don't know what was going on with me today. I wasn't feeling it today. Just wasn't really good. I wasn't on my toes today, you could say. It was sort of bad, but it's okay. Like it's nothing. Like it's just a mistake. This is a really good stop loss. 36 points at this protected low. Inversion on the 3 minute. You enter longs right here on that 3 minute closure, candle closure, and you can target this external liquidity. Like I was just targeting this because it was 79 points. Very simple, very simple break even as well. Like this was textbook. This was absolutely textbook for sure. Simple break even as well on this in the entry to this 5 minute fair value gap which we opened, which is where you could have went break even on this trade. And then right after this, we ended up delivering to there. So it would have been instantly break even. Boom, cool. Final TP, 80 point take profit. Absolutely just smashed. Like this was a this was a really clean trade. Of course, you could even target the full draw as well, which is fine. But like 80 points, that's that's you can target whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. Like this is just a really good trade. And I faded it because I didn't pay attention, and I was sort of in a bit of an emotional state at the time, and I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't like usually, because I usually do pay attention. Like I'm always flicking through the time frames, always just staying focused. But in this case, I wasn't, and that's what happens um, when you slip up. You're gonna, if one thing goes wrong and you aren't fully focused on one focus on your trading, you'll end up missing something and you'll get upset. And I didn't necessarily get upset, but I was a bit disappointed with myself with today's performance because this price action was really good. And there was, yeah, two A plus setups. This first setup, in my opinion, was really good, but the second setup was so much better. And I faded it because I didn't see there was a 3 minute fair value gap. And trust me, guys, you can say whatever, but I'm not lying. If I did see this 3 minute fair value gap, I would have spanked the shit out of this long. I don't know what was going on with me today. I was bugging. I was bugging. I don't know what I was thinking today, but it's fine. I definitely have journaled this already, and we'll move on from this. And of course, I'm making this video to show you guys and take accountability. And that's basically what it is. So we ended up fading that, and after this point, when I seen price go into the 5 minute and inverse this 5 minute, like I didn't even want to press, like I wanted to press enter here low key when we inverse this 5 minute, but at this point it didn't make sense to me, and I knew I was feeling a bit emotional, so I just simply closed the charts I was doing for the day. I was like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow stronger. This wasn't good enough. We need to get off. So yeah, and then I don't even know what we did for the rest of the day. I think we just, yeah, sold off and consolidated, and here we are now. Yeah. NQ came into the 1 hour, rejected higher. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be super bullish going into tomorrow, unless overnight session takes these highs. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's recap, guys. Openly honest with you guys, slipped up today is what it is. And it's not a technical trading view laptop error like it was in the first couple of videos. It's a genuine error from me, and I have to take accountability for that. So simple, yeah. That's what it is for today. No trade, $0 on the day. Could have been blah blah blah. Could have been this. Could have been that. But at the end of the day, we made nothing, and that is completely down to me. I'm not angry that I didn't make any money today. I don't really care about that. And the only thing I was a bit frustrated one was that I didn't perform to the best of my ability today. Which is going to happen, of course. It's just the way it is. That's the game for you. It's a learning game, you know. It's a learning game. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's recap, guys. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Again, if you want to talk to me personally, my Instagram, Discord, all that is going to be in the bio of this video. You can add it or shoot me a DM, whatever suits you, and I'll 100% text you back. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I will catch you in tomorrow's recap. So stay tuned for that. and peace.